And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. I am your host, Cape Joel, coming to you a day late, although it's not really a day late. It's only going to be a day late for patrons. We're recording this Monday night instead of Sunday night.
Yes, and the reason that is my power decided to go out yesterday.
Yeah, like massive. It was like all across Australia. It wasn't just you, right? It was a big thing.
It was a big thing across my state, yeah. We had this massive storm that rolled through the night before and it just knocked the power out for like 17 hours.
Just being one of the many other things that can kill you in the land of Australia.
Yes, someone during the storm got struck by lightning while taking a shower.
How the fuck does that happen?
The lightning here in Australia is devious.
God, smite that man for trying to shower during this storm. Zeus was unhappy with him. God damn. I tried to tell everyone that, the show would be postponed over Twitter, but the goddamn autocorrect on my phone took power outages and turned it into power outrages. So Matt couldn't be here because of power outrages across Australia. So, a fan sent me a picture of Goku powering up, and he's like, and this is all I think of when I hear of power outrages. Yep, them damn Saiyans powering up and stealing electricity.
I couldn't do the show because we were all giving our energy to the spirit bomb.
Quick, everyone, give Goku your power so he can defeat Boo or whatever. He was always doing that. So I was actually surprised, Matt, because we're in that time of the year. We're in February. There's not a hell of a lot going on. I was surprised we were able to fill up a whole show with news this week, but we were.
Yeah. Lots of stuff happened this week.
Yeah, lots of stuff I think we'll be able to give our insight and commentary to, because that's what you do when you do a podcast. That's part of the job.
Yep.
I mean, we could just sit here and say nothing, but it would be pretty awkward for the people listening.
It would be. We'd just sit here, say nothing, and then, like, near the end, just hawk our merchandise.
That's the thing, fans. It's like the family road trip. Look, if you fans are good, you get a show. But if not, Matt and I are just going to sit here for an hour 30 and not say anything. We will turn this show around, young man. Just do nothing. And hey, speaking of doing nothing, I'm bad at segues this week. Is Michael Bay being tapped for a potential Lobo movie at DC and Warner Brothers?
Apparently, I've seen reports that say that he is, but also the reports that say that they want to make a $200 million Lobo movie, and I'm just like, are you fucking high?
That's $150 million too much.
It is. Not even that. That's $125 million too much.
Many people were already quick to go, but you already have the perfect Lobo. His name is Jason Momoa, and you have him playing Aquaman for some reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, too, really, Michael Bay, I know he always makes money, Warner Brothers. I know you want some money. But did you not just try and shake off the dude bro aesthetic that was bringing your film franchises down with no more Zack Snyder? You literally go for his... It's like that joke in Simpsons where it's like, get me Steven Spielberg. Oh, sorry, he didn't want to do it. Well, get me his non-denominational Mexican counterpart. Although in the Zack Snyder Michael Bay, I don't know who the Mexican non-denominational counterpart is in that. It's like I really like Pain and Gain, but I really like the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they'll have to do a weightlifting contest or something to like who can out-bro the other.
We'll get this project. And I mean, hey, he might be a good fit for Lobo, because again, Lobo is kind of a dumb dude bro in and of himself who loves explosions and, loves corny jokes and everything.
Maybe, yeah. His past movies have kind of had that thing where it's like, oh yeah, these things could fit into a Lobo movie very well. And I wouldn't mind seeing it, but that being said, why? Why?
Of all the projects you're working on at the moment, you guys know you have Superman, right? Like the most recognizable superhero of all time. Why don't you put a lot of time, money, and effort in making Superman work? Maybe
I can imagine this pitch. Someone going, okay, I got the next movie for you. It's about this guy, and he's the last son of his race, and he come from a doomed planet, and everyone thinks it's Superman. So it's a Lobo movie.
Love it, greenlight it.
Yeah, well, they've greenlighted every other piece of shit, so.
Seems like it. Is this also maybe like a is it a delayed reaction? Is it a delayed reaction, perhaps, to Deadpool and being like, oh, well, we need a funny, raunchy, R-rated hero too. Who do we have? Well, we have Lobo.
It feels a lot like that.
I guess.
Yeah.
But hey, apparently we're not going to have continuity anymore, so we can just have a Lobo movie that exists outside of everything.
Well, yeah. Well, does this exist like in continuity, or does it consist with the Todd Phillips Joker movie, or the Martin Scorsese Joker movie, or the Batman animated film, or what is it?
Your guess is as good as mine, and I'm sure if you asked any of the suits and bigwigs at Warner Brothers, they'd be like, "We don't know either. We're just making movies now. We tried doing the shared universe thing, and it blew up in our face." But also, please go see Aquaman and Wonder Woman, though.
Yeah, please.
We don't know what it will lead to, but please go see them. Pretty please. I don't know, man. Could be good, could be bad. I don't know. Do you really want Michael Bay's fingerprints on this? Now, again, as I've said, the man always makes money, but is making money more important to you than making a quality film?
Well, yes, of course it is.
But why do you think we fast-tracked Justice League in the first place? We wanted money. If we wanted to make good films, we would have actually buckled down and took the time.
The ironic thing is Justice League made barely any money.
I know, that's the fun. Which I'm sure is why they're like, you know what, burn it down, scrap everything. We don't know what we're doing now. We'll figure it out as we go. They really need a retreat. They really need, like, look, we're going to lock you in your offices for, like, the next week, and you got to hammer this shit out.
They got to do that. I think Marvel does that.
Writer retreats, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they do need to do that. It's like, look, you don't get out. You know, you don't get the keys to this room until you have a release schedule for the next 10 years hammered out. Do you have it hammered out? No, we just colored. We drew an outline for our movies, then we colored it. Stayed inside the lines and everything. We're going to put this on the fridge in the break room. Well, at least you did something. But yeah, now you mentioned that all the possible Joker movies that are apparently also coming out. That was the other hot rumor this week from DC and Warner Brothers, and that is apparently Joaquin Phoenix is jockeying for the role in one of these Joker movies. He wants to be the Joker.
He should have been like the quote unquote main Joker. Yeah. Not Jared Leto. I'm damaged Leto.
I tell you what, I like Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. I think he's got a lot of untapped potential. He definitely made the whole world believe he was crazy for a little bit.
For that movie he did, that like pseudo mockumentary sort of thing.
During his I've got a creepy hobo beard and I'm going to be a rapper now and I'm quitting acting, I believed it. Everyone believed he had gone insane. Imagine if he was, actually doing that for a part. Imagine if he could transfer that energy of making us think he's crazy.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really good one. Which of like the 20 Joker films was this for?
I have no freaking clue. I just read the headline, wants to be Joker. Thought, yeah, but which one though?
This is what they're doing. They're like hiring all these actors as Joker, but they don't know which movie it's for. So they'll hire him and be like, okay, we'll send him over to here and him over to here, and it's like a Joker employment agency.
They have like a whole room at Warner Brothers that's just the Joker room with a bunch of actors.
Yeah, every now and then you hear like cackling and shit coming from it, and
send him to the Joker room. It's a padded room, of course, as it would have to be. They don't want these actors to hurt themselves.
Well, it depends how method they go.
I know, right? We'll go really method with it. Which, again, Joaquin Phoenix, another very serious, very method actor, which it's like, again, guys, it feels like maybe you're trying too hard to recapture the Jared Leto thing. How about you just cast, like, an actor's actor? How about that?
Well, that's the thing. Like, Joaquin he's a proper method actor, whereas
Oh yeah.
Jared Leto wasn't. He was acting at being a method actor.
He was trying to be his
Yeah.
greatest role, pretending to be a method actor. And he had us believing it with all those stories where it's like, yeah, I sent condoms and dead rats to my co-stars. Why?
Because it's crazy. The Joker's crazy.
I mean, it shows on screen, doesn't it? In that performance of yours, it really
uh,
showed.
that epic Oscar-worthy performance.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, like again, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, he can act, he can inhabit a role. He became, Johnny Cash. He became all this other stuff.
Hmm.
But again, it's like, okay, so he's going to be the Joker for what movie, for when?
Exactly.
Eh,
Yeah, we don't know.
eh. I think the best thing to come out of this Joker news is that apparently Tommy Wiseau heard about this, and
I
he's like,
saw
"Call me
that.
DC,
I saw
call
that.
me, I'll do it."
He
And
can be
this,
one of the in the stable of Jokers.
the Joker stable, it's a whole team. It's the Joker cinematic universe, you see. And it'll be sold strictly in Hot Topics, and you can go there and you can see the Joker movie, but only at Hot Topic. Maybe pick me up some Elite and Bullet Club stuff while you're there. It's so weird. And the funny thing about the Tommy Wiseau thing is that like Tommy Wiseau is really hot now because of what is it, the Disaster Artist and everything else. I'm sure there's like a room there, I'm sure in the DC Warner Brothers building where they're like, well, maybe we could cast him though.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past any of these executives to like just breeze over it, thinking, well, maybe we
He's
wouldn't have to pay him a lot.
No, he's really popular now. He's really in the news, and I think if we could really tap into that Disaster Artist fan base to come see it. Did you see the movie he made? Did you see The Room? No, of course not. I'm a busy executive. I don't have time to actually watch movies. I'm too busy making them. And they're like, yeah, we hired him anyway without seeing any of his other work. Oh no. But hey, you can't tell me that movie wouldn't be a must see though, and Tommy
Oh
Wiseau
yeah,
is the Joker.
I'd see it.
Like that's a parody just waiting. Oh, hi, Batman. How is your crime fighting life, huh? The clown, he beat up that bank teller so bad, ended up in a hospital on Guerrero Street. Oh, see, that's the thing too. And then Mark can be Robin. He can be Dick Grayson.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
No, he needs to be Jason Todd so we can have the big crowbar scene of Tommy Wiseau and Mark, and it's just him yelling just shit all over the place, like Samurai Cop 2.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because I don't know if you know this about Tommy. He's not really into reading scripts is the thing, so the director will just tell him what he wants him to say, and then he can just yell it all in one go.
Yeah. No punctuation or anything. Just yell it all in one incomprehensible sentence.
There you go. No editing either. We want this
No,
completely
no. It'll be done live.
It'll be the first ever live Batman movie with Tommy Wiseau. Which again, you will go to your local Hot Topic to watch it live.
Oh God.
Are we just kind of over the Joker at this point, where it's like, yeah, I know you have to have him in every Batman movie, it's a must, but at the same time, it's just like, I think they've given so much importance to him. It's becoming like Lex Luthor with Superman, where it's like, he has other villains, right?
Yeah, like every other movie seems to be the Joker, or like they're trying to always push him in some way. It's probably because he sells and everything, but yeah, just
Oh, bro.
push some other villains, push Clayface, push Mr.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't gotten a good version of Mr. Freeze or a good version of the Riddler. And maybe it's because they still have the Joel Schumacher, stink on them. They're afraid to go back to them for whatever reason.
Maybe, yeah.
Hell, give us a crazy new take on the Penguin, why don't you? Or Ra's al Ghul. How has Ra's al Ghul never made it into a movie?
That'd be pretty cool. Well, he has. He was in Batman Begins. So.
Oh, shit, that's right, he was. But, I mean, a version like the one from the comics, not like the fun, cool twist version of it. I'm talking like the actual, green cape and everything, living in the desert, challenging people to shirtless sword fights guy.
That'd be pretty cool.
I like Liam Neeson's version, don't get me wrong. And again, I really enjoyed that twist. That's one of, the few genuinely great twists in a superhero movie where it's like, oh, it was actually him all along. Go figure.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good. So yeah, that's your update on that, everyone. And actually, because we're talking about Joker, let's actually. I had this later on in the news, but let's just bump this one up. Apparently, comic book Joker is slated for a big return in July with the Batman Catwoman wedding coming up.
Yeah, he's gonna crash the wedding or something. We don't really know a lot about it yet, but yeah.
No, but you can basically write that story in your own head, where it's like, oh, Joker hears that Batman's getting married, doesn't like it because of his own weird connection to the character and being like, "Oh, you're not going to steal him from me, Catwoman."
Hmm.
There can only be one other person in Batman's life, and it's going to be me, and I'm going to try and kill you, probably. That's going to be the story.
Yeah.
But then again, Tom King is writing it, so maybe it won't be about any of that. Maybe Joker literally shows up at the wedding and just talks for 20 minutes.
Oh, we'll get to Tom King in a minute.
And then it's over, because that's the thing about Tom King. You can't trust him to actually do anything you think he's gonna do, because he might just do nothing.
No. Now, question is, which one of the three Jokers is it?
That's a story they
still haven't answered. No.
Still have not answered that yet. They say that's Jeff Johns' story to tell. He's gonna tell it at some point somewhere.
Yeah, so like in 20 years or so, when everyone's forgotten about it.
Yeah, because it's like, we know three Jokers is a thing, but we don't know how it's a thing. We saw one of the Jokers. We saw Snyder's Joker show up in Dark Knight's Metal, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah, what happened to him?
We don't know. He was there. Batman was keeping him in his basement, in his secret sub-basement, to try and decipher a bunch of crazy gibberish, because who else better to help you than that guy? And then him and Signal and Green Lantern fought, and then nothing.
Yeah, and he hasn't appeared since, and we've got one more issue of Metal left.
Yes. That's what happened. That's just what happened. But apparently there's three, and apparently this is part of a really big story. Yeah. Again, I trust Jeff Johns. He hasn't steered me wrong yet. I'm sure he'll have something cool to say on the matter.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
I know there's a lot of talk going on. What is it, that maybe we'll see some of that in Doomsday Clock, because in Doomsday Clock, Marionette and Mime, they're on their way to meet the Joker, and again, we don't know which version of the three it is, if it's any.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So that's something.
Yeah.
That's something to look forward to. What else do we have going on here? Hey, for those who think we've been dogpiling on DC and Warner Brothers too much, don't worry. We're going to share the love in this next one. Oh, the Venom trailer was released this week, Matt.
Oh, really? I didn't see it. I did see a trailer, though, of, like, Tom Hardy's new film. It's like, he's like a crazy guy.
Yeah,
with a really shitty accent.
Tom Hardy in the in the medical gown diaries. Yeah, he seems to have some sort of sickness. They put him in an MRI machine and he freaks out and everything. He's having a rough time.
Yeah.
I hope it works out for Tom Hardy in this movie. He looks like he's having it rough. Yeah, so the Venom trailer was filled with such great moments from the Venom comics that you may remember, like people walking through offices.
Yes, and that infamous scene of a car flipping.
Oh, not the car. Everyone remembers that one from Venom 205.
Yes, and then shots of, like, the San Francisco Bridge. Just, that iconic shot from the comics.
Yes, which everyone loves so much. Man, I would love to be in that room where they told the editors, where it's like, okay, seriously, you need to put together a trailer now for the movie. But we've only been shooting for like 3 months. We have like nothing. We'll take everything you have, take all the B-roll, and you edit it into a fucking trailer, or I'm going to take off my belt.
That's exactly how it went, and I know that because, like, when you look at, like, 90% of the shots in this trailers, you can tell that they're pre-VFX shots. Like, with the one with the cars flipping, and that's a pre-VFX. There's, like, one where, like, all these people suddenly fall down in an office building. Like, oh, Venom's gonna, like, jump out at them or something, and all that sort of stuff. You could tell where the VFX is, and usually you can tell that with any first trailer, but, like, this was, like, really noticeable.
And also, like, why? Why did you
Yeah.
do this, guys? Why did you? I feel like the teacher for the student who turned in like their homework and it wasn't finished. And it's like, why did you turn this in to me if it wasn't finished? Why are you wasting my time and yours? Get to work, young man.
Yeah, no one gave a fuck about this trailer.
Why should they?
Yeah, exactly. Why should we?
It's again, and we've joked about this before. Venom, the movie no one wanted from the studio people have lost all faith in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they're really banking on your love for Tom Hardy. Who, again, I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. Jesus, Tom Hardy, you were too good for Suicide Squad. You're like, no, 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 let that Joel Kinnaman guy have it. But no, I'm just good enough for Venom. What do you think they paid him? They must have paid him like a ridiculous amount of money to be in this.
Well, that's why there's no VFX shots in the trailer. You know, it cut into the VFX budget. Tom Hardy's bill.
I would love to see him on set where it's like, look, I will do this movie, but here is my rider. I want steak and lobster for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I want golden champagne. I want the finest Thai masseuses to see to my shoulders and back at all times. And look, like Marlon Brando before me, I only do one take, and that's what it's gonna be. You've got me for a couple months, so we better knock this one out. That's what I hope. I hope he is just taking them for everything that they're worth.
Yeah, he needed like a new wing put on his mansion or something. So this is what's paying for it.
Sony, we've literally taken everything we had left in the bank and we're betting it on this one, and we're building you that golden toilet you've always wanted, Tom Hardy. We're building that new wing on your mansion. Look, also, you must name your first children after me, Tom Hardy. And now sign the contract in blood. It's going to be so amazing when this movie comes out. Like, I can't wait. Like, never have I been more excited for a movie I'm probably not going to like.
No, yeah, I'm like, what are they doing with this film? Like, how are they going to fuck it up?
It's very rare do you get to see something where it's like, oh, so this is what pure unbridled desperation looks like.
I expect nothing better from Sony.
This is almost art unto itself. This is almost Dada is what this is. This is anti-art. This is so amazing, man. People should study this in film school for years to come. Not because it's good, but because why?
Yes, scientists from eons will be asking that question. Why?
When the cities are but dust and the alien hordes scatter Earth for remnants of our history, they will come upon the film negatives of Venom and be like, is this what the human race was truly like?
Up there with the mysteries of Elon Musk's car in Earth's orbit and the pyramids, it will be Venom.
You see what you didn't know is that when Elon Musk went to space, he actually came back with a real Clintar symbiote is what happened stuck to the bottom of his shoe. That's the real Venom movie. That's all just like embedded marketing. That's like the actual story of how the symbiote came to Earth. Which actually they don't even seem to be implying the alien origin of the symbiote. At least in this trailer, they seem to imply that it was made in a lab or some shit by the army.
Yeah, well, again, like a lot of the shots were like pre-visual effects, but I swear there looked like there was one where there was like the satellite crash or something, or something happened, but it's probably something completely different.
Right, because God forbid Spider-Man should do it.
Yeah.
Can't we have No, you can't have Spider-Man. I like some guy was getting really angry at me the other day when I was in a stream and I was talking about the Venom movie, and he kept yelling at me over and over, going, Tom Holland's gonna be in the movie. Tom Holland's gonna be in the movie. You idiot. I'm like, we don't know that. That's only a rumor.
Yeah, where'd you hear that from? Some fucking YouTube channel who's never, who's really up on all the talk.
And like I didn't even take time to correct this guy because I'm like, your heart will break when you see that movie and Tom Holland is not in it. And then you will know. I don't know what it is you'll know, but you'll know something. You will know the pain of no Tom Holland. I bet you if they do have to try and justify like why he has a spider on his chest and all this other shit, if he even does end up having a spider on his chest, who even knows at this point. I bet he'll like see Spider-Man on TV, or he'll see like a magazine with Spider-Man on it, and that's what will make him want to do that.
Yeah, or they'll do something where like the scientists will like had like spiders in the labs or something, and the
Yeah.
symbiote like copied them or something, or you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of shit you have to explain. Well, why does he have webs? Why does he have a spider on him? Why does he do any of this
Yeah.
other stuff?
Yeah, and I bet the webs won't even be webs. I bet they'll just be like parts of the symbiote that just happen to look like webs.
They'll be black goo like they were in
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Again, it's like even back to Spider-Man 3, it's like, when has putting Venom in anything you've done ever worked for you, Sony? You torpedoed Spider-Man 3 by demanding that Venom be put in there, which it's like, well, was that Sony's fault, or did they put it in there because the fans demanded for it? It's a real chicken egg type dilemma.
Well, it's
And I'm
not
sure
not
fans
even
will-
like just them as well. It's like Marvel in general. Like we just had all that Venom shit happening in the comics. Like why?
Well, I think that was in preparation for the movie, which seems ridiculous in and of itself. It's like, why are you helping to promote a movie that A, you don't have a stake in, and B, might not even be that good?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think I mentioned this last week, but I think deep down in their heart of hearts, Marvel Comics at least really loves Venom, and they love putting him on the covers of things because he looks fucking sweet, and indeed he does look fucking sweet,
he's like 90s incarnate.
pretty much. But just because he looks cool doesn't mean he should be in stuff. But hey, at least we have Venomized to look forward to. Aren't you excited for Venomized?
Top event this year. It did better than Doomsday Clock.
Oh yeah, which also Venomized. It's like, wait, Venomized? Is that supposed to be like a play on victimized? That doesn't seem like a great title for your thing. Just saying.
No.
Venom, he's so hip, he's so cool. He doesn't get victimized. He gets Venomized. Oh, well, all right then. That's cool. So be sure to keep listening to the Comic Multiverse, and we'll keep you up to speed on the Venom movie as it happens.
Yeah, the Venom cinematic universe that's just taking off.
I strongly imagine that, like, when we actually sit down and see the movie in the theater, they'll still be working on the movie as it's in the school playing.
Okay, the first reel's done. That gives us 20 minutes. We've got to get started on the second reel. Cut.
They're literally working on it as they make it.
And then they have like Tom Hardy, and they're actually acting out scenes.
Look, Tom, you got to get out there with shadow puppets, and you got to finish this, man. Okay, look, now Tom Hardy's just going to come out and read the script to you, everybody. God damn it. But you know what? From the world of Venom to the world of Star Wars, apparently the two Game of Thrones writers, showrunners, whatever you want to call them, they've been tapped to helm a new set of Star Wars projects.
They have, and I'm very worried about it.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, at least if nothing else, this Star Wars project will hopefully pull them away from their last project. Do you remember what that was, Matt? Their last project they were talking about working on?
I don't. I know they had Game of Thrones, and I knew there was something like in between. It was like some other weird HBO show, wasn't it?
It was apparently going to be a whole series about, hey, what would happen if the South won the Civil War? Don't you want to see that? And everyone universally was like, no, we don't want to see that, especially not in 2018. If you want to see what the world's like if the Civil War, or if the South won the Civil War, you only need to look certain places. We don't need this from you guys, but yeah, hopefully Star Wars will keep them busy.
Yeah, the thing that's got me worried is that, like, with Game of Thrones, like, when they had books to go off, it was amazing. Like, those first couple of seasons were really tight, really amazing, but once they overshot the books and had to come up with stuff on their own, it kind of got a little lackluster and kind of, like,
all over the place.
Yeah, it was spinning its wheels a lot.
I mean, there's definitely no denying that. I think a lot of that is just like the shine kind of coming off the show in general, where it's like you can only be so fresh and so cutting edge for so long. That's why I think Breaking Bad was as good as it was for ending when it did.
Yeah, it ended on its terms.
Yeah, and hey, don't get me wrong, I still really love Game of Thrones. I'm still super stoked for the show to come back.
Yeah, I'm really. It's the final season, so yeah, I'm finally glad that it's over and really excited for it. But yeah, these last couple of seasons, while I've enjoyed some of the episodes, they've been pretty. They've just been spinning their wheels a lot.
And again, too, just so you don't think we're being cynical or anything, like, we're talking like where it's like, wow, every episode was a masterpiece and a feast in and of itself. Now it's like, well, that was just pretty good,
Yeah.
is what we're talking about here. But yeah, so this will be one of the many new Star Wars projects they're working on, all at the same time. So I mean, yeah, Disney's going to get their money's worth, aren't they, for Star Wars? They have like what, several projects that are all in development at the moment.
As of these guys taking over, they now have an extra 6 films
Damn.
because they got Ryan Johnson's 3 films that he's doing, plus these 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, too, I had this later on, but I'll bring it up now. They're also apparently, workshopping and getting stuff together for the DC streaming app, where they're going to have new Star Wars shows and new Marvel shows for that new Disney app, whatever it might be.
Yeah. They actually came out and said that like all the stuff that's on Netflix at the moment, so all the Netflix Marvel stuff, is gonna stay there. It's not gonna go anywhere, and then they're gonna make their own Marvel stuff over on their app and
In-house.
yeah, it's so strange, this deal. It's so strange. I don't know why they're making their own app when they have
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah, but we want to own it, though, Matt. We want it all, though.
Yeah, it's so strange. But they did say they're making live action Marvel and Star Wars shows, so that's pretty
Yes, they
interesting.
are. Yes,
Yeah.
they are. Which it's funny that they've got the famous showrunners working on movies, but not on TV shows.
Yeah. It's so strange.
Very. I mean, like, it's funny. I was just thinking there because I made that joke about them before. What if their pitch for Star Wars was like, okay, but what about an alternate universe in Star Wars where the Empire actually won the Star Wars? Guys, I'm starting to worry about you. Seriously, why is that always your first pitch?
What? I just want to see the Nazis win.
And look, we'll have hip, cool members of the Empire who are brothers and sisters, and then they fuck sometimes. Why always with the incest and the Empire winning, guys? Seriously. You make riveting stuff, don't get me wrong, but still, I worry about you.
Now, no, I also hope this isn't like Kathleen Kennedy hiring them because she just likes them, because she did the same thing with Phil Lord and Chris Miller. She said she loved their stuff, so that's why she hired them, and look what happened to them. They got fired because she didn't like their stuff.
Which is sad, because, like, look, I would love to hire Lord and Miller to work on anything with me, because, yeah, I also love their shit, and I also think their shit is hilarious. But, yeah, apparently for a big tentpole movie, didn't trust them enough.
Yeah, which like then calls into question like, well, how many other times is this going to happen where they like knee-jerk hire someone because they love their stuff, and then later on realize, these people don't really work well with us.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't become a thing where it's like, no, here's all these points we want to hit here. You basically turned in a Judd Apatow movie. Which, hey, I love Judd Apatow, too. I love his extended cuts that are like 4 hours long.
They're really good.
Yeah, but I can understand why, if you have this big multi-billion-dollar franchise that you have to gatekeep and everything in here, and you have to keep it, making money, not just for you, but for your shareholders and everything else, I can see why you'd be like, you know what, maybe cool with the jokes a little bit. Maybe stick to this script a little bit.
Yep.
I can see why that might just possibly happen. So yeah, I mean that's the Star Wars thing. I mean, where could we even go with this? I mean, I guess what's interesting about it, I mean, the thing that has me excited is that once we're done the Rey trilogy, once we're done the Kylo Ren trilogy, could go anywhere.
Yeah, well, I know Ryan Johnson's is going to be like an original. It's like separated from them. It's not part of them. And these guys, then obviously we don't know anything about what they're going to do, but yeah, they could really do whatever, I guess.
Yeah. Could we have some aliens? Can we have like an alien be the lead? Because like I'm kind of bored with humans.
I would love that.
Yeah, let's see some more aliens. Let's have a movie that's just like straight up aliens and like almost no humans.
That'd be really cool.
Let's have a movie about droids. Let's have a movie that actually
Mm.
dives into the fact where it's like, wow, droids are treated shitty in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Oh, what if the droids won the war against the people?
Yeah,
The
and then
civil
it's
war
just
against the
Terminator.
people.
Yeah, you remember that, the Great Droid Civil War? Who doesn't? Who doesn't remember that? Because yeah, I mean, there's totally places you could go. I mean, the Star Wars universe is so rich, and you have so much material you can draw upon and everything.
Yeah, they don't really all that much. It's usually always the same couple of characters.
The
Le-
same family struggles.
yeah, so just like just branch out a little bit and do something else.
Although apparently, don't branch out too far and don't try too many new and interesting ideas, or people will
Yeah,
be mad about it
yeah.
for
Do
whatever
do
reason.
do new things, but not new things because not new things are bad and not like old things. But
Yeah, well,
you need to do new
but
things.
forever walk that precarious line of fandom of give me things I've never seen before, but also keep it safe and familiar for me at the same time, and also don't challenge my preconceived notions about these things while you try and reinvent it for a new era and a new time. Never challenge my preconceived notions, and also make it so my fan fiction and my fan theories ultimately end up vindicated.
Yes, and if they don't, I'll make petitions on the internet to try and get your movie taken out of canon.
Yeah, and I'll say silly things like this series was better with George Lucas at the helm. Bring George Lucas back.
This past week we found out that he directed a scene in Solo.
Yes, that's right. We did hear about that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I bet it's a scene with Jar Jar Binks.
In shot reverse shot. See, now I'm just dying to see Solo even more, just to be like, okay, spot the scene. What scene did he do? Spot it.
Yeah, it's just this really out of place scene where like Jar Jar somehow wins the Millennium Falcon.
And then it's like, okay, now let's talk for let's stop for 20 minutes and talk about taxation of outer rim systems and everything, and why this is very important. And you see, with proper planning and investments and everything, we can take these credits and we can turn these around. Oh, George, you so George. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry at this point. I wish you got to make other movies than Star Wars. I'm sorry this thing that made you famous and made you a nerd icon also kind of made you miserable in the end.
Well, he did make other movies. They're just all really awful.
Yeah, it's just no one ever saw them.
Yeah, like did you see Red Tails? He didn't make it, but like he might as well have made it. It's all his
I
own
didn't
money.
I didn't see Red Tails. I just knew that when it was in trouble, Aaron Magruder of the Boondocks came and punched it up, and even he couldn't save it.
No, he couldn't.
That's unfortunate. This is sad. This is turning into a sad cast now. But hey, to brighten us up a little bit, we got the Deadpool 2 trailer as well early on this week.
And it was really cool.
It was cool. We got to see Cable, who looks like he does in the comics. What more can you really ask for? There were still plenty of jokes.
Yep, and a nice stab at Justice League.
Oh yeah, man, tell me about it. It's like, come on, it's a fucking arm. It's not a mustache.
I like that they did that in the trailer, how they had like his arm still in like the CGI, the green screen sort
Purposely
of thing.
wrong, yeah.
I like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was a nice touch. Again, it's like, okay, so we can still expect, the biting wit
And a
of
lot of
Deadpool.
action.
And a lot of action, almost more action than the first one, which is cool and definitely, good for the escalation of a sequel, but at the same time, kind of worries me where I'm like, oh, is this becoming more of a traditional action flick now? Or are you kind of like, slowing down on like the indie comedy roots of the first one?
It kind of felt like that with like all like the big action car chase. It's probably like the car chase they wanted in the first one but couldn't have, which is why we got that really small one.
Because it's like, Deadpool was almost punk rock in its aesthetics because they made it for just about nothing. They made it in a very short amount of time and basically just put a bunch of work into it to make it the best it could be. It was one of those, like, necessity is the mother of invention things. So they had to work harder, be smarter, be funnier to cover up for, like, a lot of the cheapness of the overall production. Here it's just like, okay, you're a big boy movie now. Here's a bunch of money. Be sure to spend all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
The plot too looks to be like very Terminator-esque, where it's like, okay, Cable comes back in time, seemingly to kill Deadpool because he seemingly blames him for whatever's happening in his timeline.
Yeah, it's very strange. Something, yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to go to the future with Cable, and it looks like very Days of Future Past. You know, internment camps and stuff like that.
Is it the Days of Future Past, or is it another dystopian dark future of the X-Men, who literally have more dark futures
They're all
than
the same.
else?
They all look the same in movies.
It's the Days of Future Past. It's the Age of Apocalypse. It's the Years of Future Past. It's, whatever the fuck you want. It's that Dark Bendis future with Dark Beast. It's the Legacy Virus future. It's goddamn X-Men has a lot of dark-ass futures. Also, hey, with the teddy bear he's carrying around and everything, do you think that's reference to Hope Summers? Do you think we'll probably see Hope or get reference to Hope at some point?
It will probably get reference to her, I reckon. I don't think we'll see her, but I think we'll get reference.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting, too, Deadpool given its place now. What would, Marvel and DC sorry, I'm getting all fucked up. Yeah, Marvel and Disney may very well have gotten the X-Men rights back, may very well have gotten their toys back, but at the same time, they might not want to rock the boat too hard on Deadpool. So I wonder, will he be able to start making more jokes about the company? Will he be able to be like, yeah, hey, guess what? We're working for the mouse now.
That'd be pretty funny. I hope they do make jokes of that, and I think they will. Though I don't know whether they do it in this movie. Though you do have the fortunate opportunity of your character being masked, so you can just dub in lines wherever you want.
You can dub in as many jokes as you want, and that's super fun. Also, too, it's like, if this is the last, not like the last Deadpool one, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's proved to be way too effective and way too much of a moneymaker. It would be funny if it's like, okay, well, this is the last of the Fox era Deadpools. Let's just go nuts and mention a bunch of crazy shit now and just put everything in this movie before the end. And it kind of looks like it because we got 2 X-Force members in the trailer who we haven't seen anywhere else before.
We got a couple. We got G.W. Bridge, played by Terry Crews.
Yeah, which, man, how has Terry Crews not talked about this more?
We got Shatterstar, that guy with that really weird mask, and he has it in the film as well.
Rob Liefeld probably popped another boner because I invented him too.
I think there was I think someone pointed out Zeitgeist was in it. He's like a mutant. I think you can spew acid from his mouth or something.
Nice. And again, that's super cool if you're a fan of X-Force, if you're a fan of 90s Marvel and X-Men and everything, but at the same time, it kind of makes me like, oh, did you guys take a bunch of script stuff you had over for X-Force and you just put it together here with Deadpool 2? And it's like, well, this was going to be 2 movies, now it's going to be 1.
Maybe, but at the same time, that could be really funny because no doubt Deadpool is going to say something about it.
Yeah. Where it's like, hey, weren't you guys going to get your own movie, but they were afraid you couldn't handle it on your own?
Yeah, now that Logan is dead.
Yeah, so they just folded you in with me now. Also, too, Domino is there as well, too. I think a lot of people are forgetting to talk about her, but there's also Domino.
There is also Domino. Looks really cool.
There is Domino, and then there is also, his girlfriend from the first movie, who's there for a frame of the trailer, and I'm like, oh yeah, are they still together? Are they still a thing? I guess they have to be, because if they don't, they undercut the romantic comedy aspect of the first movie, don't they?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if she sticks around, because she's like a mutant in the film, in the comics, isn't she?
Yeah, copycat.
Yeah, so I wonder, she didn't have her powers in the first one, so I wonder if she might get them here or something.
That feels like a place they could go with it.
Yeah. Looks like a really cool movie. I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited for it too. We're going to be seeing it sooner than we thought.
It comes out weeks after Infinity War.
Mm-hmm,
in the space of 3 or 4 weeks, we have Infinity War, Ant-Man, and then this.
Yeah. Speaking of releases and stuff coming out sooner than we thought, I've been saying forever, oh yeah, Black Panther comes out at the end of the month. We get to see it at the end of the month. It's the 16th.
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I know you're seeing it super early. I'm seeing it in a couple days. But yeah, apparently I've just tricked myself into thinking it comes out at the end of the month for all of February. And be like, no, it's not. It comes out in a couple fucking days. Which, on one hand, I'm like, woohoo, I get to see it before I thought I would. But on the other hand, oh wow, I really got to work hard to finish this Black Panther video I'm working on. I was getting kind of lazy with it. I'm being like, I got it right now. I can record it whenever. I got till the 24th. No, I got till the end of the month. Then I'm like, wait, February. It's a shorter month than normal. Oh, crap. No, it's actually the 16th. Oh, no. But also, oh, yes. But also, oh, no.
Yeah, that movie looks really good.
Yeah, so there you go. Another trailer we got this week, bringing it back to streaming for a second, Jessica Jones Season 2.
Looks really interesting. Looks like she's doing a little bit of detective about a backstory.
Yeah, about her powers, which is funny because in the first season she couldn't give less of a shit about it. And it's funny, too, because I just assumed if they were doing a second season of, Jessica Jones, I'm like, okay, so you're going to do all the other non-Purple Man material you had from Alias, right? No, you're doing another thing. Okay.
Yeah. It's cool. It's like every Netflix show has, like, their first season has been kind of standard, whereas the second one is kind of different from that first season. Like, different genre sort of mixing up.
And I really, really like Jessica Jones Season 1. In fact, I maintain it probably had the best pacing out of just about any other of the Marvel shows because they paced it like a regular TV show, more or less. You could watch one episode and be satisfied.
Yeah, it was very like a crime show like that.
It was very episodic. Yeah, is what it was. So I hope the same thing happens here. They imply a couple interesting things in this trailer, like someone's actually trying to buy Alias investigations.
Yeah, some guy who wants it for probably nefarious reasons.
Because isn't it always?
They also imply that Trish might be becoming Hellcat.
Yeah. I wonder, will she get a costume? Will that be the big thing? Because Jessica doesn't wear one. At the end of this season, she will put on a Hellcat costume. Because that's kind of the theme now for all these Marvel shows. Look, at the end, though, someone has to put on a costume.
Yeah, well, maybe they might both put on costumes, her and Jessica.
I would like a flashback of her as Jewel wearing the costume. That'd be funny.
We know the costume exists. We saw it in the first season.
Oh! They gotta infiltrate a villainous costume party, so they all have to put on costumes. That'd be fun. Also, too, Jess is clearly drinking at Josie's bar, which it's like, hey, if you wanted any of the other Defenders cast members to walk on in, that's how you would do it.
They very well might.
We know Daredevil and Foggy Nelson drink there.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are good they would run into each other at some point. There's also seeming to be a superpowered serial killer running around of some kind who may be related to Jess in some way.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Might be related to like her origins, how she got her powers, stuff like that.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll pull a character from the comics there or what they'll do, because it's not like Jessica Jones really has her own rogues gallery.
Yeah, it's very, very small.
Yeah, she has one villain, the Purple Man, and they also seek to imply that we might actually get to see a little bit more David Tennant from Beyond the Grave.
Yeah, well, I think we will, because I think there are set photos of him on the set. So yeah.
I think so too. I think the idea, if I had to guess from the trailer, is he's not literally back, but he's still haunting her.
It's her PTSD from what he did to her,
it's
affecting
her subconscious.
Yeah.
Which that's cool too, because they almost kind of get to do like a Joker from Arkham City thing, where it's like, oh, I could pop up whenever and fuck with you, and have a pithy line and a fun comment, and hey, if he only exists in her mind anyway, can his skin be pure purple?
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be a way around it, wouldn't it? Where it's like, yeah, okay, his skin can be purple. Well, that's not realistic. Yeah, because he's not real.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That's just how her mind interprets him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. So yeah, that's the news for this week, everyone. Not a bad little smattering of topics, if I do say so.
Yeah.
Actually ended up okay, and we actually ended up talking for a fair amount of time about it too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess with that we can throw over and talk about what we read this week. I read a lot, but I missed a couple books here and there as well.
I read a lot this week as well.
All right, you want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, let's talk about the book we were kind of pre-gaming beforehand there. Batman number 40 came out this week.
Oh boy.
the continuation of what is without a doubt Tom King's worst story he's ever written, so much to the point he apologized about it on Twitter with good reason. Yet, despite him apologizing, people still fucking crusade in my comment section, talk about why it's good.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, the writer said it was shit. Do you know better
Yeah.
than the writer? Apparently.
Yeah, no, I had them as well, and yeah, it's an awful story.
Did you also get the, oh, if you hate it so much, why are you talking about it? Because it's my job. I'm a critic. It comes with the territory, sometimes having to talk about things you don't like.
Yeah, I'm not just going to talk about things I like.
Yeah, I wouldn't be very good at my job if I only talked about stuff I liked. I mean, what the fuck is this? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I didn't know we were in preschool. But yeah, so the continuation of Batman and Wonder Woman getting trapped in another dimension because they were stupid and didn't ask any questions to a guy they just met.
Yeah, and yeah, he lied to them because he wanted to see his wife, which is all good because he's like the only one who has like some type of like arc, and it makes sense to him. Like, he did this because he wanted to see his wife. He hasn't seen his wife for him for decades.
Although the drama falls apart because it's like, well, if you had just told Batman and Wonder Woman that, I'm sure they wouldn't have minded. They would have done it anyway. In fact, they basically say that at the end of the story. And I'm like, well, if they didn't care, then why did he lie to begin with? And oh my god, this story.
Yeah, and then again, like through the story, it's like, oh, no matter how good these two were, they wouldn't have done it. I'm like, well, we'll just get Superman. He would have done it. He would have done it just for nothing.
Yeah, which we've implied the reason they give for why Superman or any other person couldn't have come around is really stupid. Also, Catwoman gets all offended, like, oh, how could you have lied to them? You've signed their death warrant. Even though he's explained to her, yeah, time works differently. I'm just going to see my wife and I'm going to leave. Catwoman actively wastes time trying to beat him up. And it's like, lady, he already told you he's just going to see his wife and he's going to leave. Again, there's no drama in this story. Because
she was a selfish asshole this issue. She's like, he's like, oh, I'm just going to see my wife for like 3 hours. I haven't seen her in decades. I'm just going to go see her. No, Selena can't deal with that. She needs Bruce back now.
It's even stupider too because she like looks at them. It's like, oh, is that true love? I'm like, really, we're gonna pull this is a story about love? Seriously?
It's a 14-year-old writing what he thinks true love and deep, meaningful relationships are.
This is deep, man. This is deep. You know what's even more funny about this story? Apparently, Tom King also says on Twitter that his wife sometimes will proofread his stories.
Did she forget to do these books?
I'm gonna say I get the feeling I'm like, was she sick this week, Tom? Because I imagine no real woman in a married relationship would be like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, oh, this is so nice. It's so nice and romantic.
Yeah. And also too, like the big tangling plot thread. There's like, oh, Batman and Wonder Woman, they've been alone for decades. Will they give in to carnal desires? Will they, bump uglies? No,
they won't.
Which I wouldn't have wanted to see that happen, but at least it would have been something instead of nothing, which is this whole story in a nutshell. And did anything interesting happen? No, nothing happened.
The funny thing is, this story is even undercut by this week's Justice League.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, in this book, he's like, I'll never cheat on Selena. Justice League this week, he, made out with Jessica Cruz.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, they can't decide what's going on with Jessica in that book because Hitch thought, oh well, maybe Jessica and Barry should be a thing, but isn't Barry with Iris over in his book? Yeah. And it's like, oh well, maybe Bruce and Jess should be a thing. Where it's like, well, is Batman literally marrying Catwoman right now? It's like, and also in the Green Lantern book, aren't they implying like a romantic thing between Jess and Baz? So apparently Jess is just with everybody.
Oh yeah, everyone.
She's just that great. Apparently she just smells like cinnamon all the time. No man can resist her charms. And once again, too, where it's like, I get it now that, Tom King isn't going to explain basic stuff because he doesn't care, but it's like, okay, but why was he called the Gentleman, though? Why was he wearing that armor? How did he get this job? Why is he still doing it? Just why a million times, and it's like, nope, not what it's about.
Yeah, no, we're not going to get any answers, and even the stuff he says, we're going to get answers about this, we never really do.
And people being like, "Oh, but isn't it so romantic though that Batman said he would never cheat on Catwoman?" Well, I assumed he wouldn't because he's a good guy. I never assumed any of this until
Well,
you made it a big deal.
he wants to marry her. I'd assume he didn't want to cheat on her if he didn't want to marry her.
Yeah. Also, the circumstances are ridiculous. They're like, yeah, but Batman wouldn't cheat on Wonder Woman, even if he was, lost for decades with only but her. I'm like, well, that's a really stupid precedent to set. No one thinks like this. But thank God this was only a twofer, like a twofer filler. Next up, we got a story about Poison Ivy, and oh my God, I hope he gets Poison Ivy's character better than he gets Wonder Woman's character. Jesus Christ.
Is Batman gonna fuck Poison Ivy?
Yeah.
Or is Selena gonna do it?
Oh, no, see, that's what would be funny, where it's like, look, Batman wouldn't cheat. Catwoman would totally get down, and that's why they have to set some ground rules for their relationship. And like, she says this to Batman, and he's like, are you mad at me, Bruce? And he's just sitting there, he scowls, hot. And that's the story, and that's where it ends. But yeah, Batman number 40, didn't like it. Not only do I think it's one of the weakest things Tom King has ever written, I think you could argue it's one of the weakest things the DC Rebirth era has put out.
Yeah, the Batman book needs a new writer.
And people got very mad at me for saying that too, that it's one of the worst things for DC Rebirth. And I'm like, tell me something that was worse.
Yeah, exactly. There is literally nothing besides probably Hitch's Justice League that was worse. Even then, Hitch's Justice League got these characters pretty good.
And I mean, Hitch's Justice League was more annoying. This was like, wow, this is like damn near close to character assassination for Wonder Woman. You really don't get it, Tom King.
No, he seems to hate like all these characters that aren't Batman. Like he dislikes like Superman and Wonder Woman, and who else does he dislike?
Well, he loved Superman for the little bit we had Superman in that two-parter, and then here out of the blue, Wonder Woman just starts talking shit about Superman.
Yeah, it's like, oh, why does he say this? I'm like, well, why does Batman say vengeance is the night? Why is he allowed to say that, but Superman can't say up and away?
Furthermore, he hasn't said up and away forever and ever. What book have you been reading, Tom King? What weird preconceived notions are you carrying around? To which people got mad at me for that too. It's like, oh, they're just coworkers bullshitting. I'm like, that doesn't sound like bullshitting or ball busting. You do that to someone's face when you like trust them and when your relationship is good enough that you can make fun of them. Where it's like, Julie, your beard's shitty. It looks like the rebel symbol. Like, you. You don't say that behind someone's back. When you say it behind their back in another dimension, hoping they won't hear you, that means you mean it. So yeah, I did not like that one.
No, it was really shit.
Fuck that one. But luckily there was a good Batman story this week.
There was, and it was Batman White Knight, issue 6? 5, 6? 5.
Yeah, do we want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I actually just read it just before we did the show.
Yeah. So it's funny, the first 4 issues were more focused on the new reformed Joker, Jack Napier. This one kind of switches focus, and we actually get to hang out with the Batman of this world a little bit more. And, he's a lot more violent, he's a lot more unhinged and everything. And yet, despite that, this issue shows he's actually still a very competent detective. Yeah,
it actually showed him being Batman, but yeah, there's still that thing where he's like, he lashes out in violence, and like that scene where he goes and sees like Harley and he's just lashing out in violence because she believes Jack is actually doing the right thing and he thinks he's the only non-crazy person.
Which is so great to see Batman like, am I the only sane man left in bat pajamas? The bit with Nightwing was the bit I loved, where they basically have a father-son argument where he's like, you just can't admit you're wrong, Batman. Jack Napier's actually fighting the root causes of crime in Gotham, and he's beloved by the people and the police in ways you only wish you could be. And Batman's like, oh, you just love it. If I was wrong, Dick, wouldn't you? Then you could be the big man, couldn't you? And I'm like, this is awesome. And like Batgirl being the only adult in the room, being like, would you two please stop fighting and put your dicks away for a minute? It's good. It was good stuff.
Yeah. We also got to see the new GTO in action, which I love, from a car enthusiast like Sean Murphy, that he named his new anti-terror organization GTO and gave them all cars.
Yes, like awesome Road Warrior mobiles too. And it's almost like, man, these guys like might actually have saved the day and got the job done if Batman didn't
Yeah,
interfere.
Batman didn't can fuck up and like blew up a bridge.
And Batman's like extra mad too, because like, no man, they robbed my house though. Like they attacked me. This is all a slight against me. I cannot let this aggression stand, as the dude
Yeah,
says.
he's getting like obsessed to the point where he doesn't care about the city anymore. He cares about himself.
Yeah, about trying to get it right there and trying to prove the Joker's wrong. And again, the Joker might be wrong this whole time. We don't know. That's the beautiful part about this story. We don't know where it's going.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing that I also found really interesting this issue was the stuff that like that Neo Joker and the Mad Hatter were doing, where they were like tracking down Nazi Mister Freeze's father and all like that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. I like that.
That's a brilliant twist to bring into this story where it's like, look, Batman, you,
Yeah,
you always show yourself as this good guy, this, fighter for justice and everything, even though you break a lot of laws, and even though, as we found out in this series, there's a whole like Batman industrial complex that's actually profiting off you that you didn't know about, to even take it the step further and be like, whoa, the Wayne family fortune and the Wayne family splendor may very well be built on the back of Nazi science.
yeah, yeah. I love that. I thought that was really
How's
great.
How's Batman gonna take that shit? Yeah, your family was actually in bed with the Nazis.
Oh, he's just gonna have like an aneurysm and die.
Yeah, just but I'm good though.
He's just gonna start bleeding from the nose and.
Why is the world just kicking me in the nuts over and over again? Well, it's funny because this series started like in media res. It started in the future. We know that at some point during all of this, Batman does get locked up in Arkham, and Napier comes to him because he needs his help for something.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Well, in this issue, Gordon like basically disowns Batman and says, "GCP, you
Yeah.
have nothing to do with him anymore. We have to
Mhm.
arrest him."
Man, that's really powerful stuff they're doing with Gordon, where it's like, how can I claim to fight for truth and justice in the city when it's so corrupt and so mired in sleaze? I have to reach out to a vigilante just to get my job done.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, he's beginning to question all this stuff that like really he should have questioned years
A
ago.
long time. That's the whole story in a nutshell. It's characters actually saying things and opining on things that fans have joked about forever, where it's like, if Batman was so good, why doesn't he take like his advanced Kevlar technology and advanced vehicle technology and give it to normal cops to fight crime?
Yeah, yeah. Jack is basically us fans. He's
Yes.
got this platform to say like I can do all this stuff and we can see what will happen.
Which is the terrifying thing, because we still don't 100% know if he's good or not. So imagine if they pull that rug out from under us and be like, I was actually fucking with you all along.
I kind of have a feeling they're going to do that, but I kind of feel like they won't as
See,
well.
I
I
think
think it'll be the twist that they don't do that.
See, I think Harley is actually the mastermind behind all of
Mhm.
this, because she was the one who leaked the video of Joker getting beaten up by the police in the first issue and everything, and she's the one who came back to him and pushed him into this direction to try and save the city. I think she's actually the mastermind behind all of this, which is a
That
pretty great twist in and of itself.
that actually would be really cool because yeah, it'd be like she got sick of like this guy just abusing her, and just like getting nowhere with Batman or nowhere in the city. It's just like, right, I'm smart. I'm gonna come up with this
Yeah.
big massive plan, and it's gonna work.
And I like seeing a Harley who's smart and driven and has plans, but also, is terribly afflicted with Stockholm syndrome and loves this horrible guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Batman White Knight is great, everyone. It's 5 of 12 issues in. If you haven't been reading it, you really should. It's probably one of the best Batman books on the shelf right now.
It is. It's a lot better than the mainline Batman book.
Yeah, that's true. Which, hey, that's another thing. We can complain about the main Batman book, but that's all right, because there's other better choices out there as well. Now, what else did we have this week? Oh, we had Avengers, No Surrender, issue number 679.
Yeah, we find out who the Challenger is, and his name is literally Challenger.
His name is literally Challenger, and you're like, well, that's dumb, until you find out his actually admittedly pretty sad origin of, he
Yeah.
had a name, but then he lost it in a game with the Grand Master, and now he's literally playing to try and get his identity back.
Yeah, so this guy was meant to be the Grand Master, or he was, until the Grand Master that we know came and sort of like, he didn't cheat, he like kind of outplayed him a little bit. and
Yeah.
took his name and took all the power and everything.
Well, we see that they were like brothers, they were like
Yeah.
friends and everything, but Grandmaster got greedy, and it's like, you know, there can really only be one Grandmaster, so I'm gonna banish you out of time and space, which is interesting because what happened to Challenger is very similar to what happened to Voyager.
Yep. Yep.
Even their naming convention, Challenger, Voyager, she looks like she could be one of the elders of the universe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. We also find out where it's like, well, okay, if they're having this game, though, why Earth? That's the Grandmaster cheating. He's like, okay, this was supposed to be a game between just you and me, but I know by taking it to Earth, the Avengers are going to get involved and they could, you know, fuck stuff up for you and make it easier for me to win.
Yeah, yeah. As he said, this is like a planet that has like defeated Thanos multiple times. It changed the very attitude of Galactus. It tamed the Phoenix and everything. That basically it's like hard mode, basically, or insanity mode.
When you play in Marvel's Earth, you're playing on hard mode. Which I think that's great too. I love the idea that there's this main event where it's like, well, you know, why are the Avengers involved in this? Oh, the villain had no intention of fucking with them. They were just kind of caught in the crossfire of this game between two gods. I like that.
Yeah, just because it happened on Earth, the Avengers got involved.
I like the bit with the Lethal Legion too, that we see that they actually kind of have like a little bit of Warriors pride to them, where they actually congratulate the Avengers on getting a point, and the Avengers are like, points? What the fuck are you talking about? What's going on?
Yeah. They actually following these rules, which makes me think like, are these like the actual Lethal Legion and Black Order, or are they like programs or like copies that actually have to adhere to these rules?
I mean, the Black Order was very much in character because they weren't gracious in defeat. They were kind of like, go fuck yourself and everything. But, like, a couple Lethal Legion members died in other books. So, like, unless Grandmaster stole them from time and space and put them here to be part of the game, which, you know, is not out of the question.
Yeah. Well, we've seen, like, what happens to the people who get the point. They, like, go into, like, these like stones stasis thing. So yeah, maybe he's like stole them and he has them in the wings or something.
Well, because he's all about having a collection. Hey, speaking of dead characters who are seemingly dead but are now part of the game, we find out, they don't mention him by name, but it's pretty fucking obvious if you've been following. Challenger says his ace in the hole, because they mention, hey Challenger, you know, your team, you're actually down a member. As to all these other guys, now who's your ace up your sleeve? Who's your special guy? And he's like, oh, someone who understands what it means to be powered by rage as much as me, and it's the Hulk.
It's obviously the Hulk, because they do that shot of the mount, and that's where the Hulk died. So yeah.
Which is pretty fucking fascinating in its own right, where I'm like, okay, so the Hulk is Challenger's ace in the hole. How did that happen?
Yeah, how does that work? Did they bring him back to life? Did they teleport him in from a different time? Or yeah. And then apparently he's going to be staying, isn't he? Because Bruce Banner's coming back. So yeah.
Yes.
How does that work?
Well, that's the question, too. It's like, okay, was it just the Hulk he saved, or was it the Hulk and Banner? Because in Uncanny, they're like, oh, well, the Hand brought the Hulk back and tried to use him as a weapon, but Brother Voodoo put Bruce Banner's soul to rest.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Wouldn't that be crazy, where it's like, oh, we brought the Hulk back, but we didn't bring Banner back?
That'd be interesting. But though I would want Banner back, though.
I like Banner more. I've always enjoyed Banner. I like the Hulk, but I think it's Banner who's always been one of my favorites.
Yeah. Also, as well, we've got that upcoming Infinity event that could maybe somehow bring him back.
Possibly. There's a lot of stuff happening in Marvel right now. In fact, let's go over and talk about that, because I also read Infinity Countdown Adam Warlock #1 from this week.
Yes. It was a very, very visually interesting book.
Yes, I liked the art style quite a bit.
Yes, by the Silver Surfer artist Michael Allred.
Yes, it's reminiscent of old-timey Marvel comics, but also with kind of like a new-timey coloring and sheen to it.
Yeah, really cool. And yeah, this issue is basically catching people up on who don't know who Adam Warlock is, and also catching the character up on what's been happening.
Yeah, which is very, very necessary. Like, I was going to complain and be like, this is just a catch-up. And I'm like, no, I actually really needed this, and the character really needed this. So, yeah, I can see why this was a countdown.
Yeah, and again, it's Jerry Duggan writing, so it's like a continuation from his Guardians of the Galaxy books where Adam Warlock first appeared in there. And yeah, it was just him sort of being set up for this Infinity event, which required him to go back in time to where Kang originally was from, which is ancient Egypt, to find the Soul Stone in 2018. And he has to take a long way there, which means getting imprisoned in a tomb.
And getting literally stabbed in the back. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and I like that the tomb they put him in as well looked like his cocoon.
Yes, that was also a nice visual touch. Yeah, good job on the artist for this one. They definitely try and sell the idea that this is very serious. Kang brings Adam Warlock to the end of time, which is where he hangs out, and he's like, no, this shit is very serious. I have seen it. I have viewed it with my own eyes. You know, the Infinity Stones, not gems. The Infinity Stones are on the move again, and it will lead to an Infinity Apocalypse if you can't stop it.
Yeah, and I found it very interesting that Kang is kind of acting like a hero in a way, and I get there's definitely going to be selfish reasons for it, because he wants like the Time Stone for some reason. We don't.
Because he's if he has the Time Stone, then he truly is the unbridled master of time.
And that can lead to more villainous opportunities for him, probably.
Oh, of course. I think they're trying to hit this idea where it's like, no. Whoever this bad guy is, they imply it's the Magus, but it could be someone else, has already gathered all the Infinity Stones. And because of that, every time I tried to send you to the 2018 the old-fashioned way, it didn't work. And in the end of time itself is destroyed, going to show that, whoever has the Infinity Gauntlet and all the stones now is an omnidirectional threat.
Yeah, we don't really know who it is. They talk about Magus because he has the Soul Stone for when, and that's where Adam Warlock has to go and kill his doppelganger and everything and get it. But Kang gets killed by whoever this person is, and he's just like literally like a flash on a wall.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. We have no idea who it is. I'm guessing it's Thanos, maybe.
I mean, with the movie coming up, that would make sense.
Yeah, but I'm very excited for this event, and I didn't realize like how big it was, like in terms of like the tie-ins and stuff, because like Daredevil's getting a tie-in, Black Widow's getting a tie-in.
Yeah, whenever Daredevil gets a tie-in, that's usually never a good sign for stuff. As much as I love Daredevil, he never does well with tie-ins that often. Like, obviously, of course, people are still gun-shy about, like, Shadowland, but I'm sure that's people just being like, no, Daredevil can't have his own events, but he can be involved in events.
Yeah, and I guess it's their way of showing, like, no, this is going to affect everything.
Yeah, from street level to cosmic level to Avengers, everyone gets a kick at the can. Everyone's involved. If you're a spy, if you're a blind lawyer, if you're a team of young heroes, the Infinity Event, it's everybody. I actually wonder if this was supposed to be called Infinity Apocalypse at some point, or if they changed it.
Yeah, Infinity Apocalypse, Infinity's End or something. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe they just called it Infinity so it has a bit more association with the movie. Because if they put something else on the end, that people would disassociate it with.
Didn't they have another Infinity book as well that was also a big cosmic event, or am I going crazy?
No, that was written by Hickman.
Yeah,
just as I think all new, all different Marvel began, I think. Marvel Now or something, yeah.
Yeah, that was also Thanos and the Inhumans and everything.
Yeah.
It's funny, Wikipedia is already calling Infinity Countdown a sequel to it, but I don't think it is a sequel.
It's not implied that it is.
No, it just happens to have the same name.
Yeah, because it involves Infinity Stones.
Hey, speaking of which, in that same Infinity book, that's also where we first got Thane, Thanos' son. Wouldn't it be fun if it was Thane running around with the Infinity Gauntlet?
That'd be really cool, because everyone would think it's Thanos. Like, you see him, it's like, oh, it's Thanos, and then like suddenly, oh shit, he's got Inhuman powers.
I remember he had the Phoenix Force powers in the Thanos book. I never finished Lemire's run, so I don't know if he was alive or dead. But then again, he was also hanging out and implied to be Stupid Mistress Death, so maybe she brought him back to life.
Maybe, and also, I don't know what the timeline is, but going by Phoenix Resurrection, the Phoenix is actually dead.
Oh, Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. I know they obviously teased that Avengers 1 million team with the Phoenix. Like,
Yeah,
are
yeah,
they
yeah.
coming back at all?
That would be nice. I would like that a lot, where it's like, oh, we need a team from the past to come and help us.
That'd be pretty cool.
Also, too, is that Fallen Celestial, is that part of this as well, too? Because they keep implying that that was a big deal.
Yeah, that we haven't seen that since Marvel
Nope.
Legacy, have we?
Nope.
Yeah.
The only thing that was really important for Marvel Legacy that kept going was the dissolving of S.H.I.E.L.D., the return of Wolverine and the Infinity Stones being on the move, and also Loki becoming Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've still got a couple of things to do.
They do. I hope they do them.
Mm.
Because that would be nice. Hey, speaking of Daredevil, and I read that this week. I read that one before we started.
I know your review just went up for it.
I did, yeah. I was lucky to have that timed when I did. Muse, the inhuman serial killer with an art gimmick, is going around doing all these loving pop art murals to street level superheroes, and it's really pissing off Mayor Wilson Fisk.
Where's my mural?
Yeah, where's my mural? Damn it, I'm mayor. And also because he's an Inhuman, it's like Inhuman ink, so like they can't get rid of it, even though like Fisk is like, get out there with the sandblasters and get rid of it, damn it. It's not working. We also find out, well, what's his gamble now that he's mayor? He's apparently trying to hire a bunch of like supervillains to like join his cabinet and have like all the important roles all over the city. Like, hey, Felicia Hardy Black Cat, even though you became a good guy again in Spider-Man, and apparently this hasn't caught up yet, how would you like to be the head of education for New York City?
Oh, perfect. That's perfect.
And she's like, oh, I love sculpting young minds. Hey, Hammerhead, how would you like to be the head of the prison system in New York? Imagine all the cons you could run. And it's like, hey, the Owl, how would you like to like take care of the elderly affairs? And even he goes, oh, that's funny because I'm old, right? Okay, I'll take it. And then he goes to Diamondback, and it's like, hey, Diamondback, what piece of the city would you like to run? I want to be commissioner of police. I want to be police commissioner. And they're like, yeah, I don't even think in our corrupt power, I don't think we can make you commissioner of police.
Yeah, that ain't happening even if you have the vote.
God, I would love that. I'm Commissioner Diamondback, everybody, and my first order of business: crime is legal. Starting today. Oh god. But yeah, that's Daredevil. Daredevil's funny. Although it's weird, he's back to wearing the black costume again out of the blue.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like his attempt to go undercover, because like Daredevil's like the #1 most wanted man in New York now with Kingpin as mayor.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's his way of trying to hide it, where it's like, oh, if I wear a black suit, they won't know it's me. Except for the fact that you're wearing a giant red DD on your chest. No, I'm not Daredevil. I'm his cousin, Schmer Schmevel. Yeah, I'm that guy. You can trust me. But yeah, Daredevil was fun. What did you have this week, Matt?
I had Black Bolt issue 10.
Oh yeah, the series that has continued to go, and now I'm not up to date yet, but I have caught the fever.
This issue is really good. This issue had Black Bolt and Titania team up to fight Lash, who at the end of last issue kidnapped Blinky and took him back to Aurelian, that ancient Inhuman city that Lash is sort of lord over, and he wants Black Bolt to sort of kneel before Lash, and
Never.
we find out his plan is he's gonna release a Terrigen bomb, sort of similar to how Black Bolt did, except it'll obviously bring about new humans and like
just like in Infinity.
Yeah, weirdo Inhumans like him. And to do so, he needs to hook Black Bolt up to the machine because it feeds off blood of an Inhuman who became Inhuman before he was born. Like, exposed to Terrigen mist before he was born. And
right, the pre-ordering humans.
yeah, the Inhumans that pre-ordered with the DLC and everything.
the Founder Club Inhumans, those guys.
Yeah, so he does that, and when he does that, he gets sent. Black Bolt's mind gets sent into like the astral plane, and that's where he meets with Medusa, which is really cool because they did like a reverse shot of what happened in Humans Judgment Day, where we saw those two meet. It was sort of like the reverse shot of that, and it was exactly the same as well, which is really cool. Same art and everything.
Nice. I like it when they do that.
Yeah, and he gets free and frees Blinky and all that, and then we find out Blinky has some type of power that turns her into the jailer from that prison.
Oh shit! Bring it all full circle.
Yeah, so somehow Blinky's like the jailer or a jailer.
Right.
Yeah, she like hulks out into one. It's crazy.
Huh.
I have no idea where the book's going.
But I like it.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I finally caught the Black Bolt Saladin Amid Fever, everyone. I did a whole retrospective on the first arc, so I'll definitely have to keep reading now.
It's a damn good book.
Yeah, it really is. More power to Saladin Amid and more power to Black Bolt, which, as we mentioned in a previous issue, is apparently not going anywhere. Apparently Marvel Editorial loves it, and they love the idea of a Black Bolt book that sells in the high 10,000s.
I'm happy with that. I'll just keep reading it.
There you go. So that was that. What was another one I had this week? Oh, do we want to talk about Superman?
Let's talk about Superman issue 40.
Freaky fish people. Freaky religious fish people were the order of the day in this book.
Yes. So Clark gets alerted to like a planet that's undergoing the same kind of stuff that happened to Krypton. The exact same parameters.
Yeah.
And yeah, as he said, it's kind of a coincidence. It happened on the anniversary of Krypton's destruction.
Yeah,
and it kind of is. Maybe there's something else at work here.
I think there has to be.
Yeah, but they have to go and help save the people and sort of warn them. It just so happens the people are like crazy religious fish people.
Well, their leaders are at least. They're like, blah, 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 if Fish God says we are to die, blah, 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 then I guess we're just going to have to die, and you're a heretic if you say any different. To which Superman's like, I think that's some bullshit, Your Honor. I don't think everyone wants to die just because you say so. Heretic, seize him.
Yeah, but the people that like attack him, they do seem like they're possessed or something, under mind control or something.
Right.
So there probably is some higher force happening here. But yeah, he meets like Fish Jor-El.
A fish scientist who is, an expert in fish science.
Yeah, and they like team up with him. Him and Superboy team up with this fish guy to like help save the planet.
It's very like old timey science fiction, isn't it? It's very
Yeah.
But boy, that art. Can we talk about that for a second?
You didn't like it?
Here's the thing. The bodies were fine. The action was fine. It's the weird ghoulish mouths that are the problem. And I'm not even talking about the freaky fish people. They're supposed to look like that.
That's what the artist, I can't remember his name, but he's done like a bunch of Superman stuff like that. He did like the original like Manchester Black storyline. He did him when he returned and everything. Yeah. He does have like this thing where he makes like every eye look like it has mascara around it and like big weird grins and like really creepy grins. Yeah, he does. I have no idea why.
They need to put this man on a Joker book stat because I think that's what he was born to draw. Everyone looks like the Joker for no reason.
The book was really cool. It did have kind of similarities with a recent Green Lanterns book, which was very similar in that they had to deal with like a race that wouldn't leave their planet for religious reasons when it was blowing up. But yeah, it looks like it's going in like a different way than what that story went.
Hey, speaking of Green Lantern, Superman even says, man, this seems like more of a job for the Green Lanterns than me.
It really does, but at the same time, it was like a really cool moment for like him and John, and like him teaching John like, okay, well, in your life you might come across something like this, so this is how you go about it. You approach the people and you talk
Very
to
nicely.
them. And
say, take me to your leader.
Yeah, and you talk to them and explain what's happening, and then you do Superman stuff.
Yeah. It's a nice learning experience. He's even wearing an air mask, even though he doesn't have to. He's like, well, my son might need it.
He does have to in this new universe.
Oh, really? They've changed? Because a bunch of people got mad about that in the comment section. They're like, oh, why is Superman wearing a mask?
Maybe. Because I remember they got mad about it in Metal, and I remember they said, like, in Metal, that, he just uses it to communicate, but maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't, because I haven't actually seen him in space Oh wait, yes, no, he doesn't need one because yeah, when in the first couple of issues of uh, Superman, he was fighting Eradicator on the moon without one. Yeah, he
My
just needs it
my
to communicate.
my theory was it's like, oh well, this is for like a different alien atmosphere,
Hmm.
not so much space. And I don't need it. I'm just teaching John to do it because that's the responsible thing. Because it's like, well, your biology's not 100% like mine. Maybe you do need it.
Yeah, really, he kind of should when he goes to other planets, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, like safety first.
Yeah.
That's the other lesson that Superman is teaching. Hey, if you hit in the dugout, wrap up your Louisville Slugger, son. Some of these aliens are dirty. You don't know what you might pick up. Thanks, Dad. Oh, no problem, son. High five. I have like one other book I read. I'm actually far behind this week. What do you have left?
I have X-Men Red issue 1.
Oh yeah. The new Tom Taylor X-Men. Tell me all
Yeah,
about it.
it's really good. If you haven't been reading X-Men, you should definitely read this book.
That's the feeling I've been getting.
Yeah, so Jean Grey is obviously back thanks to Phoenix Resurrection. She returned. She doesn't have her Phoenix powers. She's just normal Jean Grey. And since she's been away, she's sort of decided, well, I'm going to get in touch with the world and see what's been happening. And she realizes there's quite a lot of disdain for mutants and like lots of disstability in the world and everything. So she's like,
Isn't there always?
yeah, so she's like, well, I've got an idea, and we're not really sure what that idea is, but from stuff you can glean from this issue, it's basically she wants to get the UN to recognize mutants as a nation. So
That's an excellent idea.
so they'll have some type of rights and everything. Of course,
That's really smart, actually. I had a
yeah.
very similar pitch, actually.
Tom Taylor stole it.
Damn it, Tom Taylor. You see, I wanted the X-Men to travel around the world and actually set up Xavier schools all over the world, and then they would be recognized as embassies and safe places for mutants to go. But yeah, okay, this is a good idea too. Have them all recognized as a nation. That's good. That's much cleaner than my idea.
Yeah, and her team kind of gets thrown together this issue. We sort of see them in the future with them like saving this girl whose like whole town is after her because she's a mutant. But we
Right.
sort of flash back to the present where we see she goes to like Namor because he's obviously on the UN for Atlantis and he wants
Yeah.
like her backing of like a country might actually help them get what they want. She goes to
That's very smart.
Black Panther because he has a movie coming out this year and
And he's also a king
Yeah.
and also on the UN, so that also helps.
yeah. And of course it all goes wrong because everything goes wrong for mutants and they get attacked
Yep.
by Cassandra Nova.
Mm.
Who's kind of an old villain, I think. I'm not really too familiar.
I haven't heard that name in forever, but I have heard that name.
Yeah, and she sort of orchestrates this plan that sort of frames Jean for killing this ambassador in front of everyone, and the team's kind of thrown together because they're all there, like Laura, Gabby, Namor, Nightcrawler. They're all happen to be there, and they all go away. And yeah, everyone hates mutants now again because Jean Grey apparently blew up this person's head.
Yeah.
But it's super different from the other two books, whereas like Blue was like action superhero stuff.
Young mutants doing young things.
Yeah, Gold was like the drama sort of stuff, whereas this is sort of
Right,
like
soap opera.
this is sort of the best of both worlds.
That's good.
And it seems to actually have lasting consequences for the mutants as well.
Also good. Also important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, you
That
could
does sound
probably
fun.
just like pick it. You probably wouldn't even need to read Phoenix Resurrection because all you learn in that is like, oh, Jean's back.
I'd like to read Phoenix Resurrection. I'm hoping, like, I know with things going the way they are, I can't just wholesale ignore the X-Men books like I used to.
Yeah, you can't anymore.
I keep saying, I'm like, no, they're going to reboot one more time. I just know when they finally, when the ink is dry on the Disney Marvel Fox acquisition, they're going to reboot them one last time. And Wolverine's going to be back and they're going to reshuffle those teams. I just fucking know it.
It's gotta happen.
Although X-Men Red has kind of thrown me for a loop now, where I'm like, oh shit, they keep adding new ones to it. Damn.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this could be like what they kind of pulled with Legacy, where it's like a certain number of issues, and they're like, if you want to see more of X-Men Red, support us, support the mutants, and Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to be doing a reboot with this new book called Uncanny X-Men or something.
I thought you were going to say if you want to see more of X-Men Red, text the number at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
Send $5 to Klondike 5,
Yes,
care of X-Men Red.
send please help to text please help to 1-800.
God, you know it's going to be desperate at that point where it's like, if you want more, send money.
Yes.
But I already bought this book. Yeah, but send $5 on top of that
Yeah.
to keep X-Men Red going.
We're gonna do
Care
we're gonna do a Patreon for it.
Oh God, yeah. Okay, look, we're gonna start on this next issue of X-Men Red, everybody, but you gotta kickstart it first.
Yeah, each issue's got to cost $80,000. What?
But what stretch goals can I see? All sorts of stretch goals. Tom Taylor will call you. Will he talk about anything? Nah, he'll just call you one time.
Yeah,
and then
just like
quickly
call and hang up.
But he did technically call you, so you can't say you didn't get that stretch goal.
Yeah, he'll then text you. It won't. It doesn't. Don't know what's going to be in the text, but it will happen.
he may text you a picture of his butt. It might just happen. or if not his full butt, he'll do that thing where you take your arm and you make it look like a little butt, and then you text it. Arm butts for everybody. And then if you're really good at that stretch goal, he will sign the arm butt and send it to you. Good times.
Oh God, yeah, no, this is a good book. Good book. Definitely go pick it up.
It's nice to hear nice things about the X-Men.
Yeah.
What else was that? Anything else you had? I'm out of books.
I had Justice League 38.
Okay, see, I forgot about this, and I forgot about Green Arrow. They got sunk to the bottom of my pile. I'm like, oh shit, there was new Green Arrow and new Justice League this week.
Yeah, Justice League was pretty good. Still continues that fan storyline, and
Right.
again, what I really like about this book is how like we've seen the fan, once.
Yeah.
Like once in like an issue, and he hasn't appeared since, and the team is like just breaking down because of this guy, and he's confronted them once.
It's very Baron Zemo in what is it, Civil War. One just very determined guy with a huge amount of knowledge from the heroes can really fuck them up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And yeah, the team like don't really know what to do, and they go to Superman and say, you need to talk to Bruce because he's getting out of hand. He's like obsessing over this guy, and it's affecting the team and everything. So he does that, and then we get that Jessica kiss, which is like completely out of nowhere. I had people tell me that like, oh no, they're doing it to like confuse the fan. I'm like, how is that going to confuse him?
You know what? I actually could kind of see Christopher Priest, because obviously the fan is supposed to be representative of toxic fans in the comic book fandom. That would be something if in like the next issue the fan has like a big long screen on Twitter being like, and that's not right, and this is wrong for 100 reasons, and she's too brown, and I'm going to tell you why, and that's how they get him.
I would like that very well. Yeah, they like trace his IP.
Cyborg's like, hey everyone, I developed this new technology that tracks salt in the world. And you see he's giving off massive salt levels at the moment.
Cyborg actually is having like a really cool sort of thing around this arc as well, whereas like for a lot of this arc he actually turned himself like human, like put a holograph over himself and made himself look fully human, because again he's kind of a bit embarrassed about being Cyborg. I have no really idea what's going on with him, but it's really interesting to see him like sort of grapple with the stuff that like that bounty hunter they had in the couple issues ago, that what's his name?
He was friends with Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Like, no, you should leave.
Yeah. He kind of taken those words to heart, and those words actually do come up because Batman elects him as the leader of the Justice League at the end of this issue.
Which, enjoy it while it lasts, Cyborg, because apparently Scott Snyder's coming on in, and there's going to be 4 new Justice League teams, so you didn't get to leave for that long. It's
funny as well, because, like, Baz, this issue, he's still obsessing over, like, Superman asking him out to lunch. It's like, why did he ask me? Why did he ask me? Like, I'm just, like, one of the minor league guys. I'm one of the background people. And that's what he actually says. He's like, me, Cyborg, and Arthur are, like, background people. We're, like, background artist number 3.
That is like really sad, but also incredibly accurate,
I did.
which
I'm
is
like,
what makes it sad.
that is so true. That is so
That
true.
is that's sad and accurate and sad because it's accurate.
Yeah.
Poor, poor Baz.
Yeah.
I like you and I like your book. Many more returns to you.
Lots of stuff happened this issue. Flash had a really cool thing with like an astronaut where he like went out to save a LexCorp maintenance astronaut and didn't think about what he was doing, so he ended up tumbling through space with like nothing to grab onto to create any friction or anything. And that was a really cool story. And but the start of this issue threw me for a loop because it had Flash talking to us, the reader, about how he's a scientist, not an engineer. It was so strange.
Christopher Priest just loves breaking down like preconceived notions of what a comic should be and how it should be structured and everything. He does it in Deathstroke. He does it in Justice League. Hell, I went back and read his Black Panther because I'm putting together like a Black Panther list. He starts doing it there with like his weird chapter headings and showing everything out of order.
Yeah.
And like, hey, and like I invented Everett K. Ross so I don't have to write Black Panther that much. Like Everett K. Ross will do all the talking and Black Panther will just show up and do cool shit.
Yeah, it's strange, but also I think that's what the book needed.
Yeah, and also too, I think they're giving him more freedom because it's like, no, don't worry, Scott Snyder's coming, and we're going to reinvent the whole wheel for Justice League. So you just do whatever you want for the next 2 volumes.
Yeah, well, apparently Scott Snyder like worked with him really closely on these arcs, like because I think it's going to be leading into.
Oh, that's good.
Into this because I know, like, obviously with Snyder's stuff, there's going to be like a team shakeup with members and everything. So yeah.
Yeah. And possibly multiple teams. We don't know.
Yeah. So it's a really cool book.
Would it be funny if they teased this like team shake-up and like, oh, all these multiple different members, and at the end it's just the same core members it's always been? Did we say we were going to shake it up? When we said we're going to shake it up, we really just meant we're going to keep these characters.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a massive shake-up. We're going to take Cyborg and replace him with Martian Manhunter. This is an epic shake-up.
You know what they could do, like literally, because they brought back Hawkwoman in Metal, just make it the team from the cartoon. Like literally, hey Jon Stewart, do you want to be a Green Lantern on the Justice League now? Okay.
I want Hal Jordan back on the Green Lanterns. He has on the Justice League. He hasn't been like with them for very long. He's in Metal, and that's like it.
And even when he was always just fucking off back up to space because he had stuff to do.
Yeah, I'd like him back.
Yeah, they could do it.
Yeah, I hope he comes back.
But will they? I don't know. So was that everything for this week, Matt? Or did you have anything else?
That was everything. I still got a couple of books, like you said, Green Arrow to read, but yeah.
Yeah. Which, man, that run is winding down. Benjamin Percy's going to be finishing up his run soon.
Very like issue 39, maybe issue 40.
Something like that. He's been on the book since before DC Rebirth.
Yeah.
He's had a very long tenure. I can see why he's ready to go do other things now. But, yeah, going to be sad to see him go. He was consistent. It really felt like he got the hero, and I hope they get someone equally as good to fill his shoes when he's gone.
Yeah, it put Oliver in a really good place.
It did. It really did. Now, don't fuck it up again and get more TV show writers to come and write it.
Oh, God. No, please.
Don't catch a bad case of stupid out of thin air. You know what I would love? I would love if they were like, hey, you know what? We came to terms with Judd Winnick. Judd Winnick is going to come back and write some now.
I'd really like that. You know what else I'd like? I'd like
what?
Okay, they did it for Superman. Let's get Tomasi and Patrick Gleason over on it.
That's also fine. They're also gonna need a good book, and like, yeah, let them try their goddamn hand at that because it'll look great. They'll take it in some interesting directions. Tomasi has shown he's a workhorse. You can just put him on anything and he'll make it work.
Yeah, and it'll be like a really fun adventure.
Yeah, which I think is also what Green Arrow needs at the moment. So yeah, that's basically the show, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it, and as always, be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave us a little comment, let you know you're watching. Let us know what you particularly liked about this week's show. Some news for me. It was official this week. I have been invited to the EGLX. That's the Enthusiast Gaming Show in Toronto at the beginning of March. I think it's like the 8th to the something or other. But yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to try and show up for a couple days. So if you're in the Toronto area, if you're out by the airport, come and say hi to me at the show. Entry is actually very reasonable.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's powered by Destructoid. So if you like Lyle Rath, formerly Lyle McDouchebag, he's gonna be there. That's no, that's really that was his
Yeah,
screen name for
yeah,
years and years.
yeah.
Lyle McDouchebag. Then he started working for Destructoid, and I'm sure they had a conversation where it's like maybe you should change your name to anything else. Pro Jared is gonna be there, which is funny because I actually have a couple degrees of Kevin Bacon with Pro Jared. His brother edited a few of my videos once upon a time for another project that I was working on.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna hope to try and get pictures with them. They're gonna have a bunch of like the Evo tournaments there. I think like Honeybee and a couple of the other big like Canadian fighting game people are gonna be there, and they're gonna be having tournaments. I'm hoping to finally get my head or my or my hands or my head in this case on one of those VR headsets and see what the hell the deal is up with that.
They're pretty good. Pretty good.
Never tried it. Never tried it, and I refuse to plunk down the money for it until I try it.
I bought the PlayStation VR around Christmas time, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, you were saying you were enjoying Resident Evil and everything.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, well, that's good to know. So yeah, definitely check me out there. Check me and Matt out on our own respective channels. As always, if you're a patron, you'll get to see this first before anyone else, both audio and video versions. For everyone else, be sure to check back Wednesday, 8 a.m. We've been going for 87 videos now.
87, jeez.
87 without fail. We've been doing it. We've been putting in the work, Matt, and we will continue to put in the work. Power outage or no power outage, power outrage or no power outrage. So with that, everyone, we'll be back again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.